Hey, what's up guys? Zach here and welcome back to VGL. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Borderlands, and it just recently actually got some insane news during the Pax panel. We had some of the developers at Gearbox discuss the new details about the upcoming game. On top of that, we got our first look at the new concept art for Borderlands 4 that was showcased at this panel, which we'll talk about that just in a little bit. The hype and excitement for Borderlands 4 since the big reveal has been insane. So now, without further delay, let's dive in and talk Borderlands 4. So all this information comes during the Pax panel and the developer speaking on the teaser trailer itself, and Graham Timmons starts off by saying that I'm going to go over the second half of the teaser trailer. There's kind of a raining effect and meteors coming in. Can you speak on that a little bit? In which Anthony Nicholson replied, yeah, you know, there's a reason everything's in the trailer, right? Elpis is showing up there and it rains down meteors on the planet, which is a pretty important element of what we're looking at in the future. We wanted to create a spectacle with effects and audio to give people a little insight into this new world, this new undisclosed planet, and how these sources of chaos arrives. When this big moment happens, it's incredibly disruptive to the planet and everything on it. And if you go frame by frame through this, there are some hidden secrets in there, and a lot of people have figured them out, but there's also a city and a civilization to discover as well. The Pax panel then shifted focus to Borderlands 4 as a whole, and Andrew Reiner starts off by saying that let's shift focus to Borderlands 4 now, the game itself. Back when I was a game journalist, my favorite question to ask developers was, what was the initial spark to let the creation of this game or sequel happen? And the answers are different every time. Sometimes that spark carries all the way through the creation of the entire game. It could be a new gameplay concept, a unique storyline, or even creating an entirely new genre, like we did with Borderlands all those years ago. The original looter shooter Borderlands was definitely that. The conversation then shifted to discuss the Vault Hunters of Borderlands 4, in which Andrew Reiner states, let's dive into what it takes to create a Vault Hunter. Could you talk about that a little bit? In which Sam Winklet replied, sure, when we think about the Vault Hunters, the first thing that we consider is the fundamental promises of fantasies that the players might have, which we want them to explore. For example, going back to Borderlands 1, we had a soldier fantasy, a straightforward FPS style character. This carried through all the other characters. Another example is our sirens, who tap into the mage or sorcerer fantasy within the sci-fi world. But even between each game, as much as we identify these fantasies that we want to explore, we also think about how we can innovate. For instance, our sirens have traditionally been ranged, but in Borderlands 3 we flipped the concept with Amara, who became more physically and melee based. It's important to us that we don't just repeat designs game to game. We aim to refresh, re-innovate. Moe's, for example, was a big shift from soldier fantasy to a straight up mech. We want to fulfill these fantasies while ensuring that our characters remain approachable and interesting throughout the offset. The complexity is also crucial. Our RPG side is one of the most important from our FPS side. We always aim to add depth without overcomplicating things. Now, our Vault Hunters are as different as we can possibly make them. They're misfits, outcasts, and even often anti-heroes, but they're adventurous as well. We play with various ideas, looks, styles, and abilities, and these influences shape the characters themselves. They don't look like a typical superhero group. Instead, they're a mix of all different kinds. We also strive to bring diverse backgrounds, histories, and origins, making each Vault Hunter unique and special in their own right. With Borderlands 4, we want to bring focus back to the player, ensuring that the Vault Hunters are central characters of the story, like you are the superhero. They go on by stating that we're committed to creating a reactive, grounded world while maintaining the humor that draws people back to our franchise. We want to make it feel situational and natural. So as we build these characters, we ensure they have strong personalities, react differently to various situations, and that these reactions are visible. It's essential that the Vault Hunters are the ones driving the action. They are the heroes of the story after all, just as Sam mentioned earlier. We've also discussed integrating Vault Hunters into cutscenes and cinematics, so you can see them alongside the story and feel like you're a part of it as well. Our goal is to make sure that you're not just along for the ride, but actively pushing the story forward. Now, really quick, before we switch focus to talking about the Borderlands 4 concept art, I wanted to let you guys know that we're giving away a PS5 at 80,000 subscribers. So if you want to win, all you have to do to enter is like this video, subscribe with your notifications turned on, tweet me proof that you're actually subscribed, and we'll be picking the winner at 80k subs. All this information will be in the pinned comment of this video. So next up, this is when the Pax panel actually revealed our first look at the Borderlands 4 concept art. So Andrew Reiner starts off the conversation by saying that yes, we've been shown the teaser trailer, images from the past Borderlands games, and yes, some new stuff and the art you mentioned. So here's your first look at the concept art from Borderlands 4. So now let's discuss the overall art design and what you're aiming for while you build out this new content. So Adam May starts off by saying that the Borderlands universe is fascinating. It's a post-apocalyptic world set in a distant future, blending the high-tech and lo-fi, creating endless possibilities for tech, weapons, characters, and the world itself. While I can't reveal much, this piece here is a great example of that. There's a lot we haven't explored too deeply before, particularly the high-tech elements. As you can see, we're incorporating a lot of digital projections and showcasing things things that you wouldn't have seen anywhere else due to the world's isolation. Sam replied with, one of the wonderful challenges we face is balancing the new and old, bringing back beloved characters versus introducing new ones. Well, could you elaborate on that? Well, we are creators, and now we're 5 games deep into a major game franchise, including the prequels and Borderlands 4. It's a fantastic problem to have. So many characters that we want to spend more time with. So absolutely, the new planet comes with a lot of new characters in Borderlands 4. Answering questions are probably more about the new characters than the familiar ones. In which Andrew asks, yes, because we're on a new planet, it's a brand new place, right? And Graham Timmons replies, yes, that's right. There will be new characters in this game with familiar faces. What I take away from this is that we consider ourselves storytellers. We love creating characters with depth and complexity, characters that go through personal struggles that we can explore deeper. That's why our characters resonate with our community, why people create such incredible cosplay, because we strive to create characters with depth. We want to showcase that in every game, but we also recognize that players can only handle so many characters and ideas before it becomes overwhelming, especially in a looter shooter world. I'm really excited that this time around we're focusing on more on the new characters and telling their stories clearly and concisely rather than juggling a massive cast. I believe the storytelling will be much stronger for it. Andrew replies, but that's something that we've experienced with the Borderlands 3 DLCs. We treated them as standalone stories with a tight, concise arcs. If a character was in that story, they had a strong purpose and went through the arc themselves, even though it's still set in a vast open world. In which Graham replied, absolutely, we want everybody to care about these characters in one way or another. People don't spend hundreds of hours cosplaying as characters they don't care about, so we ensure that there's something for everyone. Characters with personality who look cool and are undeniably badass. In which Andrew Reiner finishes out the conversation by stating, I feel like we're getting a bit too comfortable here, almost venturing into spoiler territory, but we're out of time. We've got a lot more to share with you in the future, and we can't wait for you to see Borderlands 4 coming in 2025. So just some awesome stuff. Now, given that the planned release date of 2025, everyone's wondering when Borderlands 4 will actually hit the shelves. Now, given that the publisher 2K Games and the subsidiary Take-Two Interactive is also publishing the much anticipated release of GTA 6 next year, it's obvious that they wouldn't want these two major titles fighting for the attention in the same release window. Now, taking all of this into account, it appears doubtful that Borderlands 4 will be released in the second half of 2025, especially because GTA 6 is likely going to dominate the conversation at that time. Instead, most likely the first half of 2025, probably around May or June, appears to be the most realistic goal. This would provide Borderlands 4 with an opportunity to grab its audience, although a July or August release date is also possible. But looking at Grand Theft Auto 6's current momentum, making a mid-year launch is the safer and more strategic choice for the publisher. But either way, I think that's going to wrap it up with today's video. Let me know in the comments section when you think Borderlands 4 could launch. And also, if you like this content and you want to see more, if you could, drop a like on this video, subscribe with your notifications turned on. Don't forget about the PS5 giveaway. All that stuff is in the pinned comment of this video. This has been Zach with VGL. I'll catch you guys in the next one.